Here we go. Happy Spiritual Sunday. Oh, yes. Boca Raton, Florida. And through the magic and the mysticism called the internet, we can be all over the world. You know, for years and years and years, people have thought, oh, Kabbalah, or mysticism, right? Mysticism, magic, this and that. For me, the internet is more mystical than anything I've ever learned in 35 years in the center. More mystical. I mean, how can we be sitting here in Boca and with no wires, no nothing? We have people, let's see, who do we have so far? We have people from Hong Kong, we have people from Atlanta, we have people from all over the world. We have Hawaii. I mean, imagine, how do you do that without wires? Kabbalah, simple compared to that. As we make an effort to make it here very simple, very down to earth, very practical. Because there's a lot of misinformation being thrown around about how the universe works or who's right, who's wrong. You and I learn one simple fact as a foundation. How many souls exist in this world? Only one. The Creator created only one being. If you read carefully Genesis 1, there was only one being. Then it split. So we could say in simple terms, there was one person, as it says, was both male and female. Then the famous story, the rib or the bone or whatever you want to call it, came out, and then there was Adam and Eve. And from that, we got 8 billion people. So if you think about it in those simple terms, I don't care if you're white, black, yellow, brown, Jew, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, atheist. We are all family. The sad part is, like we've all seen somewhere along the way, families fight. You have biblical stories, right? Ishmael and Isaac, right? Jacob and Esau. You go down the line, fighting. Well, so why should we be surprised at what's going on in the world today? Why is it any different if we're 8 billion family members? Right? It would make sense. There should be fighting. Now, what you and I are learning through the center is how to overcome that. How to truly understand the laws, immutable, eternal, universal laws of creation and our purpose in this world, and then all the tools and the wherewithal, how we can fulfill that purpose. The most fundamental, how to bring unity back to humanity, how to bring the family back together. The problem is we're under the misguided delusion that not everybody is a family member. They're either a different religion, different nationality, different culture, different race, different whatever. And we say, oh, see, they're not my family. Well, frankly, I know a lot of people who have family in different countries that speak languages that they don't. So again, it's not so different. You and I are learning here how to break everything down to simplicity. And in order to help us keep doing that, we have to keep reawakening, ideally to a higher and higher level, what is the truth? And that's why we always start out with our affirmation. So here on the screen, for those of you here, for those of you online with us, we're going to say it together, just to outweigh the falsehood and the lies that we believed for centuries and millennium. We have to keep repeating the truth over and over until the truth is the majority in our consciousness. So we say it together. Consciousness is everything. I raise my consciousness today to see the miracles and wonders of life. I commit myself to behave with greater love, compassion, and kindness towards all human beings. All human beings. So now that okay, yes, look at that. Hello to all of you watching us online from everywhere you are. Woo. Can
you send it to
what? Putin? Yes, we're sending it to everybody. Everybody. One family. We all need it. So let's start. So, there's a saying we probably all heard at some point, money is the root of all evil. Now, for years and years, that's what I've heard. Until I started to study. Even before I found Kabbalah, and I was 10 years studying different spiritual teachings around the world, and in fact, actually teaching for a few years, then I realized, no, it's a misquote. It's a misquote. I didn't understand why. Come to Kabbalah, we understand the opponent in our head, and that's why it's misquoted. But the real quote is not Money is the root of all evil. It's the love of money is the root of all evil. Now, you and I are going to start to get to a new perspective on this. So, of course, I went to Professor Google and I looked up, what is money? What is money? So it says very simple. Money is a current medium of exchange in the form of coins or banknotes. It's a medium of exchange. That's what money is. Because you think about it, years and years ago, there was no money. What was the system generally? Bartering. So if you raised cows and your neighbor grew wheat, you'd go to your neighbor and say, look, I'll give you 1 cow, you give me 10 bushels of wheat. And then they'd negotiate and say, okay, 1.5 cows for 12 bushels of wheat. Whatever it was. I'd like to see them cut the cow in half. But you get the idea. It was bartering. Or I'll do some plumbing for you and you'll clean my house. It was bartering services. Now, as society grew, we came up with this wonderful thing called money. Money. Whichever money you look at it, but money. Money means what then? It's the medium of exchange of value. Money is a medium to exchange value. Let that sink in. It's used instead of, trying to carry whatever. Could you imagine go to the grocery store? And I don't know, whatever you do. Here, I'll give you 4 hours of service. You give me my 2 baskets of groceries. You imagine what a headache that would be? Imagine being the manager of that grocery store, trying to figure out the value of the service versus the value of this. So we came up with money. Here, the store charges $10 for an item. You pay the $10, you get the item. That's it. They're exchanging. Then if they want, they can take their money and they can go buy whatever service you have or a similar service. It's a medium of exchanging value. So now, let's start asking ourselves, what's the value we're looking for? One of the things we just affirmed, consciousness is everything. So let's really sit back and ask ourselves, what are we really looking for in life? What is it we really, 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 really want? Is it the car and the house? Nope. Is it is it somebody for a relationship? Nope. Is it getting people out of your life? Nope. What are we really looking for? Why do you want money? Why do you want a car? Why do you want a house? Why do you want a relationship? In some way or another, what we're really looking for is something that's not physical. We're looking for an inner sense of peace, harmony, joy, contentment, what we generally call fulfillment. I want to feel full, happy, satiated. That's not physical. That's a spiritual energy. The physical, and here's another way to look at it, because most of you know the first way. The physical things we can use, don't always, but we can use physical things, including people. I don't mean use in a bad way, but we can use them as a medium, as a vehicle to achieve that inner sense of peace, contentment, etc. Meaning physical things can be the means, but not the source of contentment or peace or harmony. But I also want to point out that the physical things, the car, the house, the money, the job, the awards, etc., can also be the means for discontent. Think about it. How many people, they just got a promotion. Now comes all the discontent. Now all they have is stress and anxiety. How they're going to live into the promotion, how they're going to do the job, to maintain whatever their position, their salary, and all these things. A person just won. Sadly, there were hundreds of stories like this. Person won the lottery. You think, wow, great, happiness, joy, fulfillment. No, read the stories. How many became drug addicts, alcoholics? How many lost their money? How many people of their own family coming there, hey, we need money. We heard you won the lottery, millions of dollars. We only need 100,000, 50,000, this and this. So the money became the source of discontent. So what do you and I learn from Kabbalah 1 moving forward? And by the way, if you happen to be close to Boca, this Tuesday, 7 o'clock, what are we starting? Kabbalah 1, Class 1. The first class you can come and take for free, see how much you like it, and then you can pay for the whole course. So that's on the side. For those of you who are far away, you have online, Kabbalah.com. So what do we understand is this spiritual energy, this source, and in fact, it's the only source of this true state of contentment, happiness, joy. True lasting fulfillment has only one source, the light of the Creator. That's it. We call it the light of the Creator. The issue is, like contentment, joy, peace, and harmony, it's invisible. It's metaphysical. I can't physically hold the light of the Creator in my hand, like I could hold a cup or I could hold other things. But we've come to understand it is the only source of lasting fulfillment, the only source. And the beauty of the light, similar, because we know the physical is patterned on the spiritual. So in a simple way as money can become lots of things in the physical world. You could buy a house, you could buy a car, you could buy food, you could buy whatever, vacation, clothes, all kinds of things from money. But you can't really buy lasting peace, harmony, health, joy, protection. But the light of the Creator, when we have enough of it, can essentially buy us cars, houses, protection, peace, harmony, clarity, solutions, guidance, things that money cannot buy. So then the thing you and I are learning, and what I'd like one of the main messages today to be, that the real currency that we should be focused on, the currency of the spiritual realm, the currency of the Creator, is the light of God. And the nice part is we learn from Kabbalah 1 forward, when we entered into this world, the Creator not only created our soul, but filled it with light. So we're not missing light. The issue is like money. What good is your money if there's nowhere to spend it? Is it any good, really? No. The point of the money is you have to spend it. Go buy something, pay for something. If it's just physical money, it's not going to be any value. So too, we came with the light of the Creator inside of us. If we only leave it there, then in essence, it doesn't bring us blessings. In fact, the opposite. It brings us greater frustration. Brings us more chaos, more discord, inner turmoil. So the reason we left the endless world to come here with a soul full of light and to be with 8 billion people is to be able to exchange that thing called light that fills our soul in negotiations with other people. But not like our usual negotiations. We think, okay, you go to the car dealer, now you're going to start negotiating. What's the price? What are they giving you? How much? How this? No. The beauty of the spiritual negotiations, the true negotiations of the light, it's only from our side. It's only from our side. I decide, you decide if you're going to try and hold on to your light or you're going to share it and let it be revealed and get blessings from it. You do it. I do it. The other person doesn't. They don't control what we do with our light. We've come to the delusion that we've allowed them to dictate what we do. The simplest way to know, how do you know when you're letting somebody else control you? What you do with your light, what you do with your life, what you do with your words, thoughts, and actions. When you hear yourself thinking or saying, they made me do it. As soon as they made you do it, means you had no control. Means you had no control, and therefore your destiny is controlled by that person. And usually we only say that when it's something negative. So imagine if a person gives control to a negative person, they made me behave in a not sharing way, in a not light revealing way, then both parties, cause and effect, are going to end up with more chaos, discord, disillusion, darkness. Is that what you want? My parents used to say, If your friend jumps off the pier, do you follow them? No, if they do something stupid, why would I want to follow something stupid? But we do it daily, every one of us to some extent. They say something nasty, I have to say something nasty. So now we're waking up, we're saying, Let me give you a quick idea, and then we'll get a little deeper into it. So somebody says something, did something that makes you feel hurt. Now, you have a couple options. You can react, scream, yell, fight, bite, or you can run away, reactively crying, hurt, scared, fearful. What we call reactive behavior means what? You've lost some light. You've given away some of your soul's light to that thing we call the opponent, to the negative energy. You've given it away, so you have less. You have less. What do you get in exchange? A sense of instant gratification, a certain sense of instant relief. Now, what would be a better thing to do that we learn? Transformational sharing. What about forgiving that person? They said something horrible, did something horrible, etc. Let's send some of our light to them and forgive them. And again, that's from my side. They don't even have to know I'm sending them light. They don't have to know that I'm forgiving them. And they don't need to respond to my forgiving them. When I take the light from my soul and I extend it out, when I felt angry at them or resentful or hurt, I gain. Now there's more light coming into my light bank account. Now here's the tougher one. You want even more light in your account? If you really understand cause and effect, you truly understand reincarnation and cause and effect, the highest thing to do when somebody would do something not so nice, and I don't know how many of us would be ready for it, apologize to them for what you may have done, this life or a past life, that hurt them and caused them pain, that they are now expressing that pain. Ooh, you could feel not so easy. Apologize? They did the nastiest thing. I apologize to them? Yes! Because if you believe in cause and effect, which is absolute, no exceptions, no place it doesn't work, then somewhere this life or a past life, you must have done something similar, whether to them or to somebody else. Not me. I'm such a good person. How could I have done that? Okay, maybe it was a past life. Go back a lifetime, I was probably not as nice as I am now. Go back 3 or 4 lifetimes, I was probably mean, rotten, and nasty. So maybe I did. But I do believe, and I've come to see clearly, I've shared some of those experiences in my own eyes, that everything is cause and effect back to me. So that would be the highest thing to do. Now, you've heard of something called gold, even money. And I'm giving you the general ideas. Those of you that are much more into these things, please forgive my generalizations. Don't get too specific, but understand the idea. Gold. When I was a kid, gold was worth $32 an ounce. The same gold today, I don't even know what it is. 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 something. What changed? It's the same ounce of gold. And even today, one day it's, 1,800. The next day it's 1,600. The next day it goes up to 2,400. It goes up. Gold money, the value goes up and down based on what? People's perspective. People's perspective decides. If you think it's valuable, then it's valuable. If you don't think it's valuable, then it's not valuable. Now, unlike the light itself, the light of the Creator, it has inherent value. It is the only source of lasting fulfillment. The only one. And this is why we're speaking about how do I do things that will bring me more light in my spiritual bank account. Because the more light I have, the more peace, blessings, clarity, and the more strength to deal with the next thing that challenges me and doesn't make me feel comfortable, so that I can again break or repair what I may have done this life or a past life that I may not even remember. The light is everything we could ever need. And it will, as we said, turn into even the physical things that we need. So the value goes up and down, but light doesn't. Except, meanwhile, Meanwhile, not everybody perceives the value of light the same way. Why? Because of their own perspective. Look at the story, if you remember the biblical story of Esav. He's hungry, right? He's the firstborn. If you read the story, he sold his birthright. He sold double the inheritance he was supposed to get. He sold it for what? A little bit of porridge. Why? Because he didn't value his birthright. He didn't value the fact he was the firstborn. He gave it away. There's a story like that, a Kabbalistic story. Back in, of course, most of these stories I share with you, 1600s, 1700s, like that. So a very poor man won a king's contest. And the king had offered basically whatever you want if you come up with this solution. So this poor man comes up with a solution. Of course, after it works, now the king says, uh-oh, this guy could ask for everything I have. Let's find out what to do. So what do? Find out this guy's just living hand to mouth, right? I mean, he has bread and water, basically. So what does the king do on the day that he's going to choose? The king shows him, here's a bunch of glass rocks, or here's 500 steaks. So what does the poor man look? He looks at glass rocks. What does he need that for? Steak. He's never had steak. He knows what it is. He's seen it. He takes the 500 steaks. Little did he understand that the glass rocks were diamonds. That with that handful of diamonds, he could have bought whatever, infinite amount of steaks. But in his perspective, it was glass. Like people think about the light. It's just light. What's a big deal? But no, give me the money, give me the car, give me the person, give me the food, give me the vacation, give me the clothes. That's valuable. So we do the same thing, even we in the center. Moment to moment, the value goes up or down. We scan the Zohar. I mean, probably everybody watching has had some miracle by the tools. Scan the Zohar, channel the light, a miracle happens. You give your charity, channel the light, miracles happen. But comes along, like we said, somebody hurts us. Now we have to decide what's more valuable. What's more valuable? So we've got to remember, nothing comes for free. Nothing. According to the Zohar, if we try and take things we call reactive behavior, even trying to take emotional comfort from other people, from the situation, it's going to be repossessed, if you will. It's going to be lost eventually. The only things that we can have that will be eternal with us is what we pay full price, meaning when we share our light, then we can own it. If we don't share our light to pay for what we're getting, then it's not going to stay with us. It'll be repossessed or whatever it will be. So, to the exact amount of effort that we make to share, that's how much the light will return to us. You make a little bit of effort, you get a little bit of light. You make a lot of effort, like we said, going against our human nature. They hurt me, I'm just going to be resentful. No, go against that, like we said. Forgive them, or even higher, apologize. Then you've got more light in return. More light in your account. But we decide. Nobody decides for us. Nobody decides for us. Think about the times you go shopping. Yes, even online. So you go shopping, think in these simple terms. Got $100 in your pocket. You're walking in the mall, something in the window catches your eye. Now, what's your assessment in that moment? In that moment, you have to decide for you. Not your friends, not anybody else. You decide for you whether the joy and the contentment that you feel for having the $100 in your pocket is more or less valuable to you than the joy or contentment you perceive you're going to have with that item. If that item, in your assessment, is worth more joy, will bring you more joy than the $100 in your pocket, what are you going to do? You'll give the $100 to buy and get the item. If in your mind the $100 in your pocket is more joy, worth more to you than that item, then you're not going to buy the item. It's a very simple thing, but we're unconscious. We don't think those terms. We don't realize that's what we're assessing. So then, in the same way, let's ask ourselves, When we were given the opportunity, and you and I learn every challenge is an opportunity either to lose light, give it away to the opponent, or it's our opportunity to share light, to extend more light of our soul and put it in our light bank account. We decide. So now here comes a couple questions for you that you really need to think hard about. What's the value of being jealous versus being grateful? Somebody got something, somebody received something you've been waiting for, wanting, working for it. The job went to somebody else. You've been trying to get somebody to do business with you, whatever, it went to somebody else. Now you have the choice. You could be jealous. And when you're jealous, there's instant gratification because now you're jealous, right? You're jealous. It fills that emptiness of not getting that thing. Is that more valuable to you than being grateful for what you have? Even being happy for their promotion or them getting the business? What's more valuable? You have to decide. If giving away your light through jealousy in your mind gives you more contentment than having gratitude for what you have, who you are, the talents and abilities, the family, the health, all those things, then be jealous. But just realize what price you've paid. If it's not more valuable, then basically take light back, get more light by sending them the light of, I'm happy for your good, and sending out the light of gratitude. I am so grateful for what I have. I'm grateful the opportunities the Creator giving me. I'm happy for my situation in life. Then, a couple other ones. Which is more valuable? The joy of your ego or the value of being humble? Think about it. Somebody comes to you and says, wow, you are the greatest. You are just the best. Nobody better than you. How do you feel? You either say, of course, what did they think? I didn't get it. Or if you were feeling not so good, you say, wow, I must really be something. No, ego is not us. The Creator in us is not ego. The Creator has no ego. Our job to act like the Creator and get more light, reveal more light, put more light in our bank account comes through humility. Breaking the ego. No, my talent and ability came from the Creator. I'm just the one that's expressing it. It's not mine. I am not the source. So I have to be humble. I have to be humble. Just channel the light. What about the joy of holding on to your physical money? Whether it's greediness, whether it's a sense of lack, whether it's a desire to receive oneself alone, I'm just saving my money because I'm going to buy that car. I shared with somebody about 45 years ago, when my mom passed, she left me some money. So at that point, I was looking with some friends to invest in some property. But couldn't do it myself. Without the whole story, I couldn't get it in the end. So I felt the lack. My desire hadn't been fulfilled. So what was I thinking to do? I'm going to take that money, go buy myself a new car. And there was a new car on the market. I thought, well, I'll just take that money. That'll make me feel good. Was there anything about sharing the light? Was there anything about thinking about someone, something other than me? No. Fortunately, I didn't do it because the other part kicked in. No, that money in my bank account is more valuable than driving around in that car. Thank goodness. But it's still based on my desire to receive oneself alone. I wasn't revealing light. I wasn't gaining more light. Thank goodness I didn't lose too much if I bought the car. But I want you to think about how that relates to you, right? Because if you say greed, you say, I'm not greedy. Of course I give, I have it. Yes, but there are those times like that. I got to satisfy my lack by buying something I want, make me feel good, let everybody see I just bought a new car, how great I must be. No, don't want to be that. So what about, then I have to assess that sense of greed, that sense of lack, that sense of desire to receive oneself alone, or remembering, no, the law of the universe is the Creator gives us all the money. Because the Creator gave us a talent and ability. The Creator gave us the ability how to get to work back and forth without an accident, without illness. So the money's not mine. So what does the law of the universe say? Just give 10% away, tithing. You give that 10% away, then you can work with the other 90%. But you got to give that 10% away. But people say, no, 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 don't have enough. How can I afford that? Blah, 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 all the things. Which is more valuable? Staying connected to the pure source of abundance and sustenance, or have the things that I want for myself? What about being ashamed? One of the biggest traps of being spiritual is guilt and shame. Because it satisfies our ego. I must be a spiritual good person because I feel guilt for what I did. Because bad people don't feel guilt. Bad people have justification. Yeah, they did something nasty, I smacked them one. Show them who's boss. No guilt, no shame, because it's justified. You and I, we come to learn, oh my God, that was reactive, terrible. I'm losing, and I'm not helping them. So we feel guilt and shame. So even in our level, maybe the value of the guilt and shame is more valuable than actually repairing our behavior, fixing the situation. We decide what's more valuable. Nobody decides for us. It's in our hands. We have to start thinking. We decide the value. We decide to negotiate with us and nobody else. Doesn't matter. They had to negotiate. They didn't think it was, they thought it was more valuable to react and say or do that nasty thing to us more than having light. Because if you think about it, every action that we do of reactive behavior, we are literally giving away a piece of our soul's light to this thing called the opponent, that parasite in our head that makes us think egotistically, negative, lack, illusion, separation, fragmentation, hatred, animosity, etc. We give the opponent. Because there's only two sources, the opponent or the Creator's light. So you give it away. Now, what does our soul do? Our soul gives us an opportunity to take that light back from the opponent. But what does it look like? Because the opponent is also metaphysical. So what does it look like when our soul gives us a chance to take back the light we gave away? The challenge. The person who says or does the nasty thing. Because like we said in the beginning, I must have done something similar, either to them, to somebody else, this life or a past life, gave away my light. Now my soul that wants me to reveal all my light, have all my blessings, have complete joy, happiness, and contentment, says here, through this person who's being nasty, you can take back the light from the opponent that you gave away. But how do you do it? Pause, decide. What's more valuable? Giving away more light by being angry and upset, running away with fear, or forgiving them, sending light, I forgive them. And therefore you're able to take back some of the light you gave to the opponent. Or like we said, even the highest. Apologize. Apologize, because you think I'm apologizing for when I did that nasty thing. I'm sorry that that energy touched you and made you say or do that nasty thing. Now I collect double, triple, quadruple from the opponent. The opponent, my opponent, and the collective opponent then has less energy. Because when you give power to the opponent, think about it. Every time we do something reactive, does it get easier to do more reactive things? Yes. Why? Because you gave power to the opponent, has more power, easier to justify or rationalize in our mind or show us illusion why we should react more. So every challenge, everything that's going on in the world today is the opportunity for 8 billion people to take back from their opponent the light they gave away through hatred, animosity, fear, anger, judgment, guilt, criticism, shame, whatever it may be. It's our opportunity to take it back. Doesn't depend on them, doesn't depend on the economy, doesn't depend on the government, doesn't depend on your particular situation, other than you want to share the light, take back from the opponent, or you want to give more power to the opponent. I wrote once, one of the posts I put on Facebook a while ago, hatred only begets hatred. There's no such thing as justified hatred. You could say, but they did a terrible thing, so I hate them. Hatred is hatred. Hatred is hatred. Hatred just empowers the other person and those people to do more hateful things. There's no good hatred. You can't say, but I'm on the right side. They did the nasty thing, sure. What do you think they're thinking? They're thinking that you did the nasty thing and therefore they hate you. Darkness will not remove darkness. Hatred will not remove hatred. Violence will not stop violence. The only thing that will stop darkness is light. How many years you've been in the center? You've heard from Rav Berg, Karen Berg, all the teachers in the center. You walk in a dark room. How do you remove the darkness? Tell them how smart you are? Tell them how much money you have in the bank? Tell them what position you have in the world? No. If you don't turn on the light, you could be sitting there all day spouting off all the things that you think you are and have done and accomplishment in this. Darkness is going to stay. The opponent is the one that's playing hardball now. Yes, hate this group, hate that group, hate this thing, hate that thing, etc. No. Keep giving away your light, empowering the opponent. No, the opponent can only has power that we give it. Stop giving your opponent and therefore the collective opponent power. Take it back. Take it back. Because we want to start realizing every person comes my way. The ones that behave nicely, the ones that behave badly. They're my opportunity to decide the value I want. How much do I want the light? Because remember we said in the beginning, what can the light bring us? How many of you have anything that's making you a little upset, bothered, worried? There's things that you feel you would like to have that you don't have. More peace of mind, maybe some money, maybe a person in your life, maybe health, maybe better children, grandchildren, something. Any of you have anything you feel you're missing? Not here. Anybody online missing anything? If you're missing something, how do you buy it? You have to buy it. Buying is not a dirty word. I told somebody today, you know what? Every time you're giving charity, every time you're tithing to the center, you are buying light. Oh, the opponent right there. How terrible. They're making commerce out of spirituality. And this is, yes, because you got to make, listen, I had somebody years ago when I was teaching in LA complaining that we charged $150 for the class. How can you charge for spirituality? Spirituality is supposed to be free. So thank goodness I paused for a moment and I let the angels tell me. So I looked at this person. I said, you know what you just said? Remember, we're talking here about assessing value. Do you know what you just said? You just told your soul, the universe, the creator, that the socks you're wearing are worth more than your soul. Because you're willing to pay $5 for the socks. You don't want to pay for the class, for your soul? To wake up your soul? No. So people here the same way. We all have to think that way. How valuable is what you get from the center, from Spiritual Sunday, from the Zohar, from the tools, from all that you've learned, Kabbalah.com? How valuable is it? Oh no, should be cheap. Really? So you go out, you buy coffee, you go buy dinner, pay $100 for dinner. You don't want to give, I don't know, $10, $20, $30 charity? Spread the Zohar, stop all the pain, suffering, and death? Where's our value? Are the socks more valuable or our soul more valuable? So let's start waking up, my friends. Because carried inside the soul of those other people, essentially our light. When we gave away our light through reactive behavior and we gave it to the opponent, and now we're facing that challenge, the opponent basically put that light back into, because that's the way the universe works. It's in that person, in that situation. We decide we take it back or we give it and more back to the opponent. That's our choice. So now you come to understand, if you're catching this, if you're really thinking the light is, and I just thought of this recently, and again, if you know about all this in detail, please forgive me, but just in a simple way. The ultimate cryptocurrency is the light of God. That's it. It can turn into anything. It's out there. All this nebulous stuff, mystical, chain, what do they call it? Blockchain and this and that other thing? No, light. Light is the only currency we need to focus on. So when we think about, one, the value of the light, and I need to buy through my sharing actions more light so that I can collect enough light so that I can have those things that I feel I'm missing. Now we'll come to understand in a true Kabbalistic way the ultimate meaning of love your neighbor as yourself. Doesn't mean you excuse their bad behavior, but it means every person out there that you're connected with, which is 8 billion people, and that those of you maybe have a more direct interaction with, every one of them in one way or another are carrying, so to speak, a piece of the light of your soul. So when you're sending your light to them, and just channeling that light from above, through you, and out to every person on earth, the good ones and the ones that you perceive are bad, then from your side, you're collecting back your light from their soul. And the beauty of that is, light is taking away their darkness. Light is taking away their delusion that if they hate those people, if they beat up those people, they steal from those people, they judge those people, they're jealous, etc., etc. When the light goes on, they'll realize also, they'll start to feel the pain of their negativity. And then they'll start to come to the understanding of the power of the light, and they'll start to want more light. And then they'll also be more forgiving and kind and compassionate. Like we affirm, greater love, compassion, and kindness towards all people. It's not just for them, it's for me. I want to take the light back from them. That's the ultimate of love your neighbors yourself. So, as we close, I just want to leave you with this thought. The more we love the light of God in their soul, because I can get my light back from that, if we love the light more, then we dislike their behavior. Then we fall to the delusion of their bad behavior. Then the more we're going to take that action of shining light on them, extending more light, which will put more light in our account. And then, because the light is the only currency of lasting fulfillment, the more we're sending light to every human being on earth, unconditionally, the more we're receiving light, the more we're able to collect enough light that we'll be able to exchange all that light, one, for our own personal peace of the Garden of Eden, our own peace of eternal bliss. And when enough of us do that, and because we are interconnected, when there's enough force of pull towards the light, we will be able to bring all the people who are caught in the darkness, all the people who are doing all the negative actions, we'll be able to wake up the light in them, that they will be able to join us. And then it will be, as all the sages and every religion on earth is looking for, the end of pain, suffering, and death. But you and I are learning here in the center how to take actions to make it happen. Collect more light, exchange it for your piece of Garden of Eden. More people will be excited and inspired by that until the whole world will be living in that eternal peace, joy, heaven on earth, Garden of Eden. God bless. So before we do our meditation on the 72 names, which thank you, a lot of you have been sharing with me that you appreciate the meditations we've been doing. I also want to thank you, those of you who have been giving to the Zohar project for the Russia-Ukraine area and all that's going on over there. So we take this time, we want to thank you for your donations, for your sharing. I'm putting online, for those of you who are online with us, that you'll also be able to give. Those of you who are here, who would like to give, just hold your offering in your hand. We want to put our love and our light and our blessing in it, because as we said, money is just the manifestation of a medium of exchange. As we spoke about, we just want to buy more light, more strength, more power to be able to share against our resentment, to share light against our sense of lack, judgment, jealousy, ego, fears, whatever the opponent is pushing on us. And so in this gift, in this offering, we inject our light, our gratitude, a higher level of the realization and the ability to maintain the consciousness that we are just vessels. We are conduits of the light of the Creator. We are not the source. And therefore, as we have blessings in our life, by being better and better channels of the light, we want to make sure that we're giving back equally. So not only do we own all the blessings that we have up to this point, but we also open up a channel, a conduit for greater blessings until all the light the Creator implanted in each and every person on earth is manifest as peace, love, harmony, joy. And knowing that there is an exact law of cause and effect, we know that putting this through the projects of the center to remove the source of chaos, death, and destruction, will bring us back the most powerful, the most intense, the most beloved blessings that we could ever imagine, beyond our imagination. And together we say, Amen. So, as we've been doing, if you look, those of you who are watching here, if you look on the screen, this is one of the 72 names of God, as you see behind me. Doesn't mean that there's 72 gods. The Kabbalists teach, and actually I've shared here and there are many spiritual teachings that say that what we call the Hebrew letters are the DNA of the Creator. They're actually particles of light. Nobody created them. Nobody made them. They came into this universe with the Big Bang. And so they just channel the light of the Creator. So, and that's why by opening our eyes and scanning them, you're allowing the light that's shining out of them to enter into your soul. Eyes are the window to the soul, activating more of the light in our soul. And in this case, the Yud Lamed Yud, which are these three, to help us see the light. Because the more we see the light in that negative person, the more we see the light in all the chaos going on, and the more we see the light in us, the more we will be willing, able, and strengthened and inspired to do more sharing of the light so that we can accumulate more light and remove more darkness and faster. So just let the shapes be engraved in your mind's eye, Yud Lamed Yud. And if I can ask you, just sit comfortably in your chair, feet flat on the floor, hands comfortably in your lap. Begin just taking a few deep breaths, breathing in through the nose. Hold the breath for a moment. Exhale through the mouth. Just activating a more powerful circulation of the light force of the Creator that exists in the air. Draw it in through the nose. Let it awaken the light from head to toe, dispel the darkness. And as you exhale, let go of any blockages, any tension, any stress. Just allowing yourself to feel more and more relaxed by this greater circulation of the light of the Creator. Now envision in your mind's eye, allowing yourself to be floating on a cloud of light that's raising you up into the heavens, to the upper world where there is only pure light, and where we can see clearly that we are all family, we are all truly one interconnected soul. And now allowing from above light to flow through the channels of the Yud Lamed Yud. And then the light emanates from that name, from those nanoparticles of light, through the top of your head, directly to your heart. Allow that light, Yud Lamed Yud, to open what the Zohar calls the eyes of your heart, that you see all hearts interconnected. You see the purity of the heart, the purity of the soul that's in each person. Channeling light through you, out through your family and friends, reaching their heart, their soul, activating greater light in them, and then sending out from them light that you're channeling through them to the heart and soul of every human being on earth. Because everyone has a piece of the Creator inside them. And as we're sharing this light and channeling this energy, we are awakening that light in them. We are opening the eyes of their heart to also see the oneness of all people, the true one soul, and also to have a clear vision of cause and effect. That with this awakening, we all want only to act with unconditional love, sharing, caring, channeling more light, taking away all that we've given to the opponent, to the negative side, taking it back and revealing it as light, blessings, peace, joy. Allowing this light that's shining from the endless through the Yud Lamed Yud, through each of us, to be more intense, more powerful, to speed up the flow. That we speed up the process and make it more merciful to achieve peace, love, harmony, the return of the Garden of Eden on earth, and the return of the one soul of perfection that the Creator has planted in each of us. See in your mind's eye this vision, a world filled with peace, harmony, unity, love. And now allow yourself on your cloud to descend into your regular world, into your life, a new person, shining greater light, being of greater happiness, joy, peace, clarity about how to reveal more of your light, how you can share more against the darkness to retrieve more of your light. Allow your soul to tell you those ways and means, and listen and remember what it's telling you. And take one more deep breath to anchor this into your heart and soul and mind. And as you slowly exhale, open your eyes. Thank you for joining us. Those of you around the world, I appreciate your being with us. Thank you. Let me know your comments, your process, questions you may have. Have a marvelous week, and I look forward to seeing you next week. God bless. Thank you for joining us. If you liked what you saw, subscribe to this channel that you'll be notified when we post new videos. Share the video with your friends, they can also benefit. And check out the website, www.kabbalah.com, that's Kabbalah, for hundreds of articles and classes. Wish you an amazing day, and God bless.